We are back now with what's truly an incredible story. Two brothers born years apart and without functioning immune systems. The youngest, Timmy, seen here, spent nearly 5 months in isolation, similar to the treatment older brother Josh received about a decade ago. Timmy was just released last week, and joining us now are Timmy, his brother Josh, Dad Clark, and Mom Julie, the Osborne family from Wisconsin. Thank you all for coming in this morning. We do appreciate it. And I have to say, we ran the story last week, and everybody was so touched by the story and the video of little Timmy, who we see here. Let me first ask how everyone is doing. Clark, let me start with you. How's Timmy doing now?
He's doing fine. As you can tell, he's still, we're trying to keep mask and gloves on him. They're wanting to be as protective as possible, so it's a work in progress. It's not something that's, that's typically quickly fixed.
Right.
But he's good enough to be out of his isolation room, and now we just try to keep him as protected as we can.
So here's what I'm wondering, and obviously he's got the mask, or you're being protective. He was in for 5 months. I assume he's not cured, that there will be ongoing treatments?
Yeah, it's a long-term process in terms of his immune system taking the fix and getting back to a point where it works well. So he'll be here. We'll be here. There he goes.
Now watch him. There's a step here. Julie, and you said this would likely happen. He really, I mean, after being in isolation that long, he really likes to get up and walk around, right?
He hasn't stopped.
Hasn't stopped yet. Well, you can, I mean, we've got some cables. Just watch that, and he can walk wherever he wants to walk. Josh, let me ask you. This was something you dealt with when you were a youngster. How are you doing now? How do you feel now?
Well, it doesn't affect me in any way now. I'm still getting those monthly shots.
Okay.
But other than that, it's like I don't even have skin anymore.
And the monthly shots bolster the immune system?
Yeah.
His monthly is IVIG, so it's a antibody bolster, but the actual T cell boosters that he used to get, he isn't on that anymore. So it's a minimal amount of medical help that he's getting now.
So, Josh, how excited were you when you saw Timmy get up and be able to walk out of the isolation room?
Well, when I first went into the room, I was really happy, and then we had to unpack. And when he went out of the room, I was even more happy because he was just bolting down the hallway. And I knew how it felt because I had done it too. I was running back and forth down the hallway nonstop.
Yeah. He's very curious about everything.
I claimed I was going faster than I had ever in my whole life.
I'm sure you probably were. Clark, let me ask you this, because many of us are very puzzled by it. It's a rare illness. While the boys were in the isolation rooms, were you all allowed to go in? Could you touch them? Could you interact with them?
Yeah, just with precautions. So when we went into their rooms, we wore the masks and gloves and gowns and foot covers, and so it was minimal. They wanted to keep as few people out of there as possible, but the family was allowed in there as long as we were gowned up.
And during that period, obviously that's a unique situation for a child, but then again, the children are so young, they don't know what is natural. How did Timmy, first of all, respond to it?
He just didn't know any better. I mean, he's a joyful kid. He's happy. He plays. So his world was 15 by 30, and he was fine with that. Lots of toys. He had his brother and his mom and me, and they have play therapists at NIH that come in and play with the children for an hour a day to help them best they can to adapt with that space. But especially at that young age, it didn't make any difference. That was his world, and he was fine with that.
Julie, can I ask you a question? In the media, we hear the term bubble boy. We have used it ourselves. Is that an okay term? Is it? Do you not like the term?
It's an okay term. I mean, it really still describes kind of the setting that they're in. They have to be in a protective bubble area, so I think it's an okay term.
I popped my bubble.
What's that, Josh?
I popped my bubble.
You popped your bubble. I like that. Very good. And now Timmy has popped his, from what we know. Is there any expectation that he would at some point have to go back into that type of environment, or once he's out, he's out?
It's always possible, but the hope is that he'll stay healthy and his immune system will continue to improve, and he will not have to go back into any sort of an isolation in a room. We'll continue to take these sorts of precautions for quite a while, and he'll continue to be seen even once we go home. We'll come out on a regular basis for for follow-ups. But we hope the days of isolation are done.
Without getting too personal, I want to talk about the support system. First of all, does insurance cover this kind of treatment and care?
Well, the National Institute of Health is entirely federally funded. So thank you. Thank everybody who's watching. It's a tremendous facility. So the medical side is completely covered. There are no insurance issues. It's all funded through the federal government. The probably the part of the support that's even more critical, which you guys ran the story on Christmas, but the Children's Inn and the Woodmont House, which is an extension of the Children's Inn, the people there, the programs they have, the sustenance, grocery cards, food pantries, social groups coming in, feeding dinners 2, 3, 4 times a week. The support system surrounding NIH is phenomenal. I can't say enough about it.
So I have to wrap it up, but Josh, as Timmy gets older, you're going to take him out and show him the world and...
Yeah, once I get my driver's license.
Once you get your driver's license, well, you're already looking well ahead. Very good. Well, we wish you all the best, and we thank you for taking the time to come in today. Timmy is adorable. Josh, very handsome young man, and everybody is rooting for you, and we hope you continue to get good news and hope things continue to go well for you.
Appreciate
the Osborne family from Wisconsin. Allison, back to you.
The Fox 5 Weather app. Look 10 days ahead or hour by hour. View today's video forecast and radar that can pinpoint your neighborhood free at your App Store or Android Market.